Hey everybody, welcome to Dark Mode enabled. We are here on a Thursday. Oh my goodness gracious me. That was a kerfuffle. A little bit behind the scenes here on Dark Mode. I created an event last night. I created an event in bed. It was like 10:30. I was like, "All right, let's get a little bit ahead of the game for today." And silly me, I created an actual live event, not a LinkedIn audio live event. So I didn't even have a video camera to like connect. And then I didn't have the third party streaming service to have it even work. Duh. So, and then Jane and I were literally struggling and like, on the fly to even, oh my gosh, it's been, woo, been a morning.
Is
We
this
did it.
yeah, is this thing on? Can you guys hear me okay?
This thing is on. Dark
Perfect,
mode
because I muted
enabled.
myself. Dark mode enable. Thank you guys for coming. And today we're going to talk about social synergy,
Mm,
which is just a fun way of saying, how to network the right way.
yes.
And I know we all say, well, I know how to network. I can talk to people, but there's a bit of strategy involved and there's a bit of, etiquette. So, but let's get started with what the hell's up with us. Heather,
Catching up with
talk to
Cox and
me.
Clark. I swear we're
Yeah.
gonna get that jingle. It's gonna
Cox and
happen.
Clark.
Literally, like
Yeah.
I actually okay, so a little pro tip for everybody. If you use CapCut on your phone, you can create words and say out words, but then use the word to audio feature and it will sing something for you. Isn't that funny? So like I've
Yeah.
been messing around with it to see if I can create myself an AI created jingle. Cuz that would
Dude,
be so much fun.
I did that with brands. And I was like, whoo. So I'm like, every time someone hears a bird, I want them to think of me. But not
Yes.
those annoying birds,
I
because
love
I have a woodpecker
that.
that just keeps going on and on and on.
Brand
And
sound.
yeah.
Yes. But so that's what so yes, I'm messing around with a catching up with Cox and Clark jingle. And then, what's happening with me. I go to RealCom in 2 weeks. If you are in Tampa, Florida, I will be there from June 15th to June 22nd. Um I'm taking a train. It's going to be very Carrie Bradshaw, Sex in the City goes to California.
Love
Minus
that.
the really big pimple. And then it's the summertime, so kids, swim team, new clients on the horizon, just trying to keep it all together. What about you, Miss Clark? What is happening?
I don't want to one up you, but I've been like violently ill. Okay, so if we're gonna talk about who's had the worst week, I'm gonna share something super vulnerable with you all. I'm diabetic, and a little overweight, and so I decided, oh my god, I'm going to get healthy. And it's been a really difficult journey. I see the weight like literally melting away, but it's been very difficult. I'm getting kind of sick from it. And it's definitely a balance from, making sure your blood sugars are in control and whatever. But that aside, it being kind of miserable, I will say that my mind is so much sharper. Like I'm really excited about it, and I'm just wondering how the hell did I let myself get so foggy brained, So,
Mm.
um, yeah, I'm really excited just about my future, what's happening, and I even went on vacation and wore a freaking bikini. I wasted, okay, because I'm
Yes.
retro, but I'm feeling so much more just comfortable in my body and leaving the house and honestly, I mean, how you feel about yourself absolutely does affect how you network. So we'll talk about a bit more about that later.
Dude, that is amazing. That is I'm so and by the way, I missed you so much when you were on vacation. I did.
We only made it till like Thursday or something, and
I like called her on Friday. I was like, I miss you. We didn't have like you weren't here at dark mode last week. Um yeah, that's I missed you, but I'm glad you're back. Because
me
we
too.
actually get to talk about something awesome, which is networking. I'm not really good at it. I know you're awesome at it, Jane. I'm getting better, I think. But I think my sphere is like networking online and locally, but like I just
Yeah.
it's hard for me. I'm not. Are you an introvert like me? I think you are a little bit.
It's really tough.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think I rely on the introvert label to kind of excuse my antisocial behavior at times, but I am beginning to become energized when I'm meeting with people. So I think a little bit from column A, a little from column
Column
B.
B. Yeah. So, I know that you have tons and tons of information for us today because last week everybody heard me talk for a whole entire hour about social media, and we really did a spotlight on social media. And if you want to actually listen to that, you can go over after this. If you have not had enough dark mode for your day, you can go over to Spotify, look up dark mode, and listen to last week's episode, social media spotlight, because that is up. But right
And
now
it's
we
a
are,
podcast. It's a
yes,
podcast
I
now, so
know. And
you
we're
can go back.
actually,
Yeah.
yeah, we're recording live right now. Using my Shure microphone setup here. But super excited to be on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Samsung Podcasts, and wherever you listen to your podcasts. But right now we are dark mode illuminated. Jane, please, let's talk about networking because I know you have a shit ton of
I
stuff to
do.
say. I'm
And
so excited.
I'd like to say that I think this might be new information that you might not know. But I want to know. You tell me in the comments if you're like, I didn't know all this. I'm bored. Like, I want to know about that. But so these are, in my opinion, must haves. So, first of all, when you're networking, you when you're actually there, you're not selling, you're building relationships. You have to adjust that mindset, right? And a lot of people might think, oh, networking, it's the slow burn, and it is, and that's just marketing in general, right? Especially if you're a service-based company. But you need to put yourself in the right room. So I'm not saying, oh, just go party in DC at a museum or something. I don't know. That's where I would party. I mean, you have to be a bit more strategic than that. So, for example, and this makes me laugh so hard, but where do the 30 and 40-year-olds hang out? Who here has seen that meme? Feel free to raise your hand. Um, and it's so true, right? So if you're targeting millennials right now, right, a lot of them are at home, and a lot of those habits were formed during COVID, but also we're paying our mortgage. We want to hang out in the place our mortgage is, okay? We're paying for it. We need to use the shit out of it. And I think that's why a lot of, especially introverts, are at home. Or, and Gabby, this one's for you, or they're in bars playing trivia, okay? So you have to understand their motivations and how they like to be talked to. And so if you're not doing digital networking, you're really missing out on a big segment of people. So don't forget to do that. Networking is definitely online as well. And it has to be industry specific. So, an example would be, let's say you're selling a medical product and it's going to prevent heart attacks, right? Take a look at things like trade shows and conferences, specifically for doctors in cardiology, for example. Research about heart attacks and how it happened. What's the user journey? What are the symptoms? And use that so that you are delivering a product that's the right fit. And that's what people will respond to. You have something that will help them. They feel like you're in their brain right now. You absolutely, they're talking directly to me. This product is for me. That's how you want it to be. And sometimes when you're networking, you have to also speak the way they speak, mirror what they're doing. Um, and nailing your pitch is a big one. I have a couple of pitches, and it can be something as simple as, "Hi, I'm Jane Clark. I'm the CEO of Brand Swan, and we do branding, website, and marketing." If I'm feeling super fresh, and let's say I'm in a room with other branding people because I want to differentiate myself, I might say, I create brands and campaigns that people flock to. So you can change it up based on who you're talking to, but don't go on and on and on about it. Break it down to the smallest denominator, so they're not like, hmm. And honestly, if you're a consultant, that's going to be a challenge for you. Has anyone seen the picture and this homeless guy holding up a sign and it says, "What do consultants even do?" When you're not like delivering a product or a service, it becomes a bit more difficult to sell your services in that way. So just again, break it down, bare bones here, and notice how much you talk. And trust me, this is something I have to do for myself because I can go on a tangent, mind you. Um, and being authentic is super important. But if you're talking a lot, if you hear yourself only talking, shut the hell up. ask some questions, get them engaged, you're going to find all sorts of stuff out. You're going to find out that you guys have common hobbies and interests. And wow, you both went to the No Doubt concert in 1997.
Did you
Okay.
really go to the No Doubt concert in 97?
And who opened for them but Weezer? I was 16.
No way,
Phenomenal.
dude.
Yes, absolutely.
That is so
Anyway,
good.
I'm just going to drop that in there. But yeah, being yourself is certainly important, but also being able to read the room is even more critical. Has anyone ever been in a conversation and you're just sitting there and you're trying to talk, but this person hasn't taken a breath and you feel so disconnected? You feel unseen. And that's why being able to kind of pick up on certain aspects of someone will help you kind of figure out where you are and if it's like if you guys are vibing. And eye contact is definitely a huge one. So, if you're talking to someone and they're looking at their watch and they're looking over their shoulder, you've lost them, and that could wrap it up. Okay. You didn't make a good first impression. And also their posture. Are they leaning towards you? I mean, is there a bit more intimacy where maybe you guys are off in a corner, you're talking more specifically about your clients and, so how they show up with their body is pretty critical. Are they attentive? Are they slouching? Are they leaning back like they're comfortable? It could also indicate that they're bored. So I'm going to give you some more some more things to look for. The easiest one is probably the facial expression, smiling, nodding. And if they're really animated and they're using their hands, then you know that they're engaged. If they're frowning and they don't have much of an expression on their face, to some of us that might seem obvious, but I think sometimes we're so worried about how we show up and the words that we say that we're unable to kind of link the two together. And don't worry, guys, it's a skill you can absolutely learn. And I'm going to reference my own husband. My husband is the biggest introvert you've ever met in your whole damn life. When I met him, he didn't say a whole lot. He still doesn't, but he's definitely opened up more over the years and he's doing much better. But you know what he fucking read to do it?
What?
How to influence people and win friends, or how to win friends and
Nice.
influence
That's a
people.
good book,
That
though.
old ass book completely changed how he interacted with someone. And not everyone is going to be like, oh, I really want to connect with people I'm talking to. Not everyone has that desire for that kind of intimacy, and that's okay. You don't have to. But doing that is going to lead to more deeper relationships and loyalty, and support.
Okay, but question though. You
Yeah.
mentioned like the facial expressions and like frowning and like I think one of my biggest things is my resting bitch face. And I'm not really like sometimes sometimes I'm like okay, so like it's kind of like a defense mechanism because as a woman in business, you kind of need to put on that front of like I'm a mean ass bitch and nobody's gonna mess with me because like you gotta keep that guard up sometimes. Like literally yesterday, Jane, I was on Market Street in Wilmington walking from Stitch House after doing a live podcast, and three people tried to stop me and talk to me. And I did not want to be. And yet I'm like, dude, I have this resting bitch face on. Like, how do I still look approachable? So I just don't like so like if I want to like I don't know, look approachable in networking, like how do I and I have the resting bitch face, Nancy Dybert. She also, what was it? Her headshot recently. She was like that's my resting bitch face. Like that's her.
I loved it though. It
Me
was so
too. But
badass.
like how do you I guess show off if I have a resting bitch face, is there anything that I can do with my body or my I don't know, something energy to kind of combat that?
Oh, totally. I mean, first of all, I know you really well, but
Well, yeah,
the
duh.
first
But
time
like,
you open
if
your
people
mouth,
don't know me,
yeah, but the first time you open your mouth, they're going to see your energy completely change because you're very enthusiastic, and you're just really exciting, and people want to rise to that occasion. And so I think that's sort of like your superpower. But just how close you're standing to them, you could also mirror their own body language, which again, and that's something that I think women do, especially like when we hear someone talk, we kind of match their pitch a bit, especially if we're attracted to that person. So I think again, intimacy is a bit hard to kind of cultivate in a networking setting, but like where are your arms positioned? Are they crossed across your chest, or are they, you know, laying at your side, like really relaxed, right? So I think if your body's fluid and you're moving and you're moving, I think that's going to counteract the resting bitch
Yeah,
face
for
for
sure.
sure.
Okay, cool. I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, oh, you're welcome.
I am
But
here to
yeah,
learn
facial.
as well, lady.
Yeah, and also like lack of facial changes is kind of interesting. I normally, here's what I do though. I say shit to get a rise out of people. And I'm not saying like something nasty, but I might say something that's a bit more bold and then I look for a reaction. That's just something that I've always enjoyed. And I mess with my husband a lot. I'm like, what kind of crazy shit can I say? That he's like, what? Um, so again, if they're responding to you and they're changing their position, and they are actively listening, and that's a oh wow, tell me more about that, right? So that's still engaging with them, and that gives you the green light to kind of continue. And of course you have the head movement, nodding, or um, fidgeting. um, those can actually be, well, anxiety, right? And it could be a disagreement of what you said or boredom. And if you say something and someone doesn't agree with that, they're going to shut down immediately, right? So I'm not saying don't be yourself and don't say things, but if you, actually, I'll tell you a horrible networking experience I had with a flower shop here locally. We were at a networking event. I sat down. They were telling us, we were talking about how great flowers are. And I said something like, man, what a waste of money, but damn, I love them. Now, in my head, I know what I meant. In my head, I'm like, I'm a perennial kind of girl. I'm like, I'm going to plant that shit and have it keep growing forever. So that's what I meant by waste of money. Like, it doesn't stick, it doesn't stay. But this person took it very, very deeply. Very deeply. And he swore up and down. He told the president of the chamber he would never work with me. And he doesn't know that I order from there every year, several times a year.
Huh.
And isn't that interesting? He has no idea that I support his business. He just heard what he said and he formed an opinion on it, right? And so that's why your words do mean something. You can't don't be too freaking authentic, okay? Take it from me.
Yeah.
Just think a little bit before you speak.
So,
But yeah,
what are your thoughts on like, okay, so like don't put your foot in your mouth. Yeah, but like
no.
you and I love to cuss, girlfriend. What about cussing at like networking events?
Oh, I have a great story about that. And I think there's a lot of insight here, and I didn't understand it at first. I was at a networking event, shocking, and they were doing an example on networking, how you do it. So I got up there, and I was paired off with someone, and I was doing it, and I definitely said a cuss word, probably shit or hell or damn or something like that. Hopefully, you're not gonna get demonetized. But anyway, and they were not comfortable. There was someone, and there's a table near us, and she was giving us some recommendations, and she said, you really can't cuss because people don't understand. They're going to think that you're not professional. And she was a Black woman, and it took me a long time to realize that she didn't have that luxury.
Mm, yeah,
you
I
know
hear
so
that
if
for
you see
sure.
a
Yeah.
Black woman cussing, they might be taken a completely different way than a white chick in a skirt, right? So at that time, I realized that, wow, not everyone has this luxury. And I thought of it very differently from that moment on. And now I just do it very deliberately. So if I'm with people I've met before, they like me, I feel the good vibes, and I be more of myself. But initially, when I meet someone, I don't just start cussing immediately
Yeah, so
unless
you're
I feel
reading the
that vibe.
room. You're
Reading the
essentially like around
room.
the people that you are. Yeah, okay. See, I like
Yeah.
this. Like, 'cause I'm not, because how many networking events and like conventions? Like, I think the first one that I've been to in probably a decade was the one in Delaware that I had that booth and you had a booth. Which one was
Yeah.
that? Which one was that?
The Delaware Networking Station,
Yes,
which
the
I'm
Delaware
coming to
networking
again
station.
for
Yes.
sure.
Um, and I mean, my mom piggybacked off of my freaking booth. Like, so just like
Hilarious. I thought it
ruined
was
the
cool.
vibe. But like yeah, like that was my
Did
first.
she pay for part of it though?
No, no.
Mom, that's 14% of my booth,
I
okay?
know. Literally, don't even get me started. Love you,
Write that
mom.
shit off.
But yeah, so okay, yeah, I'm learning a lot. Okay, anything else you got for us and myself? Because I am learning
Yeah,
lots here.
just a couple of things I want to kind of touch on, and the second one is just hand gestures, and I'm not talking about like, you have like Italians love their hands, right?
So no
So there's some
flipping people
cultural,
off. Got it.
yeah, yeah. I mean, your hand gestures, if they're animated, if you're bringing them up as you talk and you're using them to like explain things, that definitely shows engagement. But if the hands are in their pockets, they might be more reserved, and you might want to just, don't come on too strong. And me and Heather have huge personalities, so this stuff really matters for us. Because I don't want to make anyone feel uncomfortable or make anyone feel like I'm pushy, and so I try to, I think at times reduce my light, which I don't think I'm going to do much anymore. But being considerate of others,
Yes.
but at the same time, don't apologize for being who you are if you know in your heart that you have much love. So just feel the vibes. I think your gut will tell you what to do a lot of the time. So just don't cross your arms, don't put your hands in your pockets. One hand in a pocket is kind of cool and relax, and hi, how are you, to see you again, blah blah. And you know what my boss used to do, actually? I had a boss once. I've only had like 3 jobs my whole life, guys. I haven't had
I
many
had a
bosses.
boss
Been
once.
doing this for like 15 years, but I did have one. Um, I did have one. I think I was actually working. I used to work at Exit Realty, believe it or not. I worked for the franchise office. So they were selling franchise Exit Realty brokerages in Maryland, like the Mid Atlantic area. And he was an early adopter of Salesforce. And this guy took such diligent notes that I would get a message that says, "Hey, happy anniversary, 16 years. That's great, guys." And the fact that he remembered that means, and I feel special now, don't I?
Dude,
I'm
that's
like,
awesome, by the
wow.
way.
Yeah. I mean, taking notes on your clients and caring what they care about, it can be exhausting. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. It's exhausting. But having time management will help you with that too.
Mm, agreed.
You
Yeah.
know.
And aren't you going to be talking on some panel about time management at some
I
point?
don't know. Maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe I am. Hi, Flora. What's up, girlfriend? I'm looking for it. I don't know if it's. I'm not gonna say any more details because I don't know if it's like
Oh, I
what's
forgot she
going
was
on.
here. Hi.
But
Make
yeah,
her
I'm
do it.
really
Let her
excited
do
about
it.
that. Yeah.
That's awesome. I love all those. Anything else? Let's see. Well, okay, so the movement, okay, first off, like the hand and the pocket thing, I
Uh-huh.
always stand with my hands in my pockets because I don't know, I just maybe one. I like one hand in the pocket. I tend to be doing that. And then I also people, I don't okay. I was told by my chiropractor I have to stand with my legs apart, like my feet apart in like a V, and then like keep my hands in my pockets because like my neck and my back and my hips. So would that be a problem if I'm standing there, at like a networking event with
No, I don't think so. I mean, I've seen you, and this is so fun, guys, because me and Heather had some overlapping services, but we were on different sides of the booth, and I
yeah.
noticed, and I was like, "Girl, you're getting a lot of men at your booth, lots of men."
It was
And
near the bar. That's the only
yeah, yeah.
reason.
No, it was. I mean, because you have a stance, you're assertive, and certain people are so attracted to that. And meanwhile, at my booth, it's got a pink fucking carpet, which I know is obnoxious. It's on purpose.
But you
To
did win. Didn't you win like
I
best?
win. I think I won best door prize, but I
Yes, you
think they
won
meant to
best
give
door
me like
prize.
best
Yeah.
crazy ass mug.
That was awesome.
Which, by the way, we do have a dark mode version. Bitch, I'm a swan. If you're interested, hit me up. It's fine.
That's right. I need my
Oh yeah,
mug.
I need to send yours.
Yeah.
I think I was gonna order them in bulk, and I was gonna just
So,
bring it over
okay,
your house, and
networking
that's why I
events,
have.
door
Yeah.
prizes. I mean, do you think if you're networking, do you think you should bring your own swag to give out to people even though you don't have a booth?
Yes.
Ooh,
Well.
okay.
Oh wait, at a networking event,
Yeah. At a networking
that.
event that you do
Yeah.
not have a
Yes, I
booth at,
would.
should you have like stuff to give out? Swag like pens and pop holes do you put on the back of your phone like
You know
idiot?
what? You know what I do? there are some things I might put in my pocket. And I'm like, I'm gonna give away like these 3 notepads. I'm just making something up. And then when I meet them, and let's say we really vibe, like, oh wait, I have something for you, and I'll just pull it out and be like, here, I only brought 3, so to kind of make it a bit more special.
Yeah.
But mostly, I think door prizes at trade shows, they don't win you any clients, but they do bring people to the event, and that's part of why it's so great. So I think a lot of conferences and trade shows rely on vendors to kind of bring that to the table so that, they're even that's how people even get to your booth. Next thing you know, they buy with you, they like you, they stay in touch. 2 years later, they send you a referral.
Right.
It's a slow burn, guys. It's super slow burn, but this is how you manage your reputation.
Yes.
And one last thing I wanted to kind of talk about, networking. So the voice tone and the pace in which someone's talking, if they're like really monotonous and quiet, there's going to be some discomfort and probably some disinterest. So keep up the energy. And again, if you're talking too much, just shut up. Uh, and the last thing I'll say is what you're wearing. So this is part personal branding, part networking, but don't wear something polarizing. And by that I mean don't wear a plunge dress at a networking event, unless it's a cocktail party. So just think about like, and by the way, I'm gonna just be realist. I hate bras. I hate wearing bras. I never leave my house. I'm never wearing a bra. Okay, so I am not afraid of cleavage, but I'm just giving an example of something that might make someone uncomfortable. For example, let's say it's a husband and wife team, and they come meet you, and the wife is gonna feel a kind of way, okay, that you're sort of out there in front of her husband. So just
Mm.
some small things like that. Just be
Mm.
considerate of other people. Now, I'm not saying don't show a little skin because that, to each their own, but just try to be like tasteful about it.
As my headshot here has me in a full turtleneck.
I do like turtlenecks, but the lack of neck that I have is sort of obvious in that regard. So I try, I
I
try to
hate
play to my,
turtlenecks. I hate turtlenecks. I'm claustrophobic, so I don't even wear turtlenecks. So, but I
but,
mean, it's a
but
good
man,
photo. I don't know.
but black turtleneck, that's his Steve Jobs, and guess what? That's his brand, right?
Yes. Oh my God. So, who was the chick who did what is that? She got in trouble for like I don't know investor fraud or something.
It wasn't Martha Stewart, was it?
Not Martha Stewart. She had it was the oh, crap. It was the one with the medical one. I forget her name. Anyway, that's what my husband says this photo looks like. Thanks, bro. But oh, so then okay, another question for you, Miss Jane Clark. Images that don't look like you, like this
Mhm,
photo. This looks like me. This photo is me. Like it has my
mhm,
glasses, like but it's AI generated, right? Like I trained
right.
the AI. It took about like 3-4 days to like actually get the AI to give me what I wanted.
Oh yeah, for
But
sure.
what do you think of like okay, this is what I look like on LinkedIn and my social medias, but then when you meet somebody in person, what
It's
is
not.
like what do you
You know
think
what
of
blows
that?
my
Cuz like
mind?
some people have
No.
the craziest headshots on social and then you meet them and it's like, "Oh, is that really you?" Like I'm kind of like shook right now. Is this catfishing?
Mm, yeah, that's a tough one for sure. I mean, I think if you were digitally and work remote, you have a little bit of leeway, but it's kind of the same thing as like when you get a business card from a realtor. It's like their '80s prom photo.
Right.
It's kind of like, wait, how long ago was this? This is definitely an '80s haircut,
Yeah.
and a lot of it stems from how we feel about ourselves in our own
Mm.
skin. And I think when we don't feel good in our own skin, that insecurity and discomfort leaks into our words and our presentations, and how we show up in the world. So definitely, wear things that you feel comfortable in. Now, misrepresenting yourself is a whole new people will just avoid you.
Yeah.
So for example, if it was very important to me when I did that's an AI photo, guys. I had to broaden my shoulders. You know,
Yeah.
I had to make my cheeks a little fuller. And so, because I wanted it to look exactly like me,
Mhm.
because it was more about the exercise and trying to be something I'm not. I just really wanted to see if I could do it and do it well, that no one would notice. And I think people can notice, but at a glance, I don't think they assume it is. So,
Yeah.
I would just say don't misrepresent you. If you're the same height and weight, and the real reason why I did an AI shot, because I loved that outfit. I was like, oh my god, I have to, and I've been looking everywhere, Amazon, Moncloth. tour everywhere looking for this freaking blazer or dress or the sweetheart neckline, so
Yeah.
I was looking for something very specific.
I love that. And you know what's funny? Because, like, I will tell everybody, honest truth, like, honest moment here. When I created this image, which took me 4 days, um, I was probably 25 pounds heavier. So
Mm,
this made
mm.
me look really thin, and I was like, man, I don't think I should. I was like, F it. I mean, whatever. Now I literally look like that because I've lost 25 pounds. So
Yeah,
it's
same,
like
same
it's
girl.
manifestation. I'm gonna put that photo up. I'm
Manifestation.
gonna get there. And so I freaking love that. So this
Yeah.
dude, so many great network nuggets. So what is like the recap? Let's give us a recap there, lady, of
Oh
what we
gosh.
should look at for
Yeah, okay,
networking.
so let me just recap. A lot of information here, but be a little strategic in where you go. Think about where your people hang out at. What do they care about? And then show up for them in that way. Who's most likely to buy for you? I think that's really important. And sometimes, and they could be very specific positions. Like for example, people who I love, marketing directors, executive directors. I find that I jive really well with them because they're usually a one person team and need a lot of help, and I'm here for that, right? But anyway, getting off topic here. So read the room. How are people showing up? Are they backing away from you? Are they crossing their arms? Is your conversation easy? Are they nodding? Are they engaged with you? Are you talking too much? If so, shut the hell up. Try not to fidget or play with your hair, by the way. It just shows a sign of immaturity, and this is something I do all of it, by the way. So don't do me. And watch your facial expressions. I know someone very close to me. Her name's Emily Martin, who has the most expressive face I've ever seen. And I remember one time we're on a call and the client said something that wasn't correct, and Emily's face was just like, "Oh my god, did you hear that?" I'm like, "Oh my god, Emily, turn your camera off." So you do have to have some sort of a control over, how your face looks. So, um, but I guess if you hear something absolutely outrageous, you can react the way you want. But anyway, just know that stuff about you. Know if you get bored. Here's another example. When Emily first came to me, she was 17. And she came in, she was doing an interview, and I looked over at her, and her face was quivering. So I was like, "Oh my God, are you okay?" And she said, "Yeah, I'm just trying not to yawn." And I was like, "Oh my God, she is trying so hard, and I thought that was cool, you know. I don't know.
Yeah,
So
no,
anyway,
I
I thought that
feel
was
that too.
awesome.
Yes, because I get so mad if I'm trying to say something to my husband or somebody and then they yawn. I'm like, I'm sorry. Am I boring you? So yeah, I totally get that. Don't yawn at people at
But
networking
also, it's
events
a
for
sign
sure.
of anxiety too.
Oh,
So,
I didn't know
it
that.
is. It's a sign of anxiety. So try to be, try not to take it too personal when these. It's more
The
about them
more
than you in
you
most
know,
cases.
Jane, the more you know.
The more you know. Honestly, I learned that about my dog. R.I.P. Remy. That was something I
Oh,
learned because I had a dog. All right. Does anyone have any questions or anything they
yes.
want to talk about? Oh, wait, we gotta do. I have one piece of news. I don't know if we should do
Yes.
it now or.
News
Okay, one piece of news.
notifications here. And that actually, so thank you, Jane, for going over the
Yeah.
networking. Literally, I would say probably all of the same things that you would say. And plus, again, I'm not really good at networking events. So thank you. You actually taught me a lot, and I'm going to put a lot of that to practice. And then, oh, wait, are we supposed to be going to a thing together next week? Or was that this week?
We are going to a thing together. We're going to a
Yes.
social media master class.
Yes,
That's
and
free.
that's a great networking thing for us too. So
Yeah, we'll
Jane
drop
and
it in.
I are
We'll
going to
drop it
be,
in the link, guys, for anyone who's local.
yeah, and I mean, and that's cool because I get to like practice networking with you then next week, which is going to be awesome, and I can put some of these tips into like into action. So that's
Yeah.
exciting. Thank you, Jane.
Yeah. Practice
So
makes perfect, people.
news notifications, and I feel like we need a dun, 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 dun,
Dun,
dun,
dun,
dun,
dun,
dun,
dun,
dun, dun.
dun.
We will have these little jingles and sounds for our podcast, I'm telling you. And again, everybody, thank you so much for being here. You're listening to Dark Mode Social Synergy. And again, if you're listening to this on the podcast, thank you. And we can hear on Spotify, Amazon Music, wherever you find your podcasts. And we have a new website, kinda.
Oh
It's just
yeah.
forwarding, but is it darkmodelive.com?
It sure is.
Yes,
DarkModeLive.com.
darkmodelive.com. Very
Yeah.
exciting. Check it out. You can listen to all the past episodes. But news notifications, Jane, what is happening in your news? Like, what did you find
I
today that's
just have
very
one thing,
interesting?
guys, because I kind of slacked this morning. But Emily told me Divi 5 has just been announced. Okay, listen, I don't know
What
if you
is
guys
that?
know about web design, but it's one of the biggest themes in the world. Like, it is probably one of the most beloved themes, most used themes. They don't have the numbers on that, but I would put my life on it. That's how confident I feel. But the one problem is I always felt that it demanded too many resources and slowed down a website. And as you know, performance really matters for your bounce rate, for SEO, and for all sorts of stuff. So I really hope that it solves the problem I'm having because I want it all, damn it. I want a beautiful website that's also fast, mobile friendly, does it all. And I believe that we'll get there. So
Love that. Love that
that's my
news.
news.
So there's one news article that I wanted to talk about, and a deal has been reached on the New York State bill putting limits on some social media feeds, which I thought was really, really
What
interesting.
does that even mean exactly? Like
I
bandwidth
I don't
or what?
I don't know, but
Oh my
apparently
gosh.
that's happening, and I can't even this my news notification has frozen, so I can't even read the news articles to you guys, which is
Wonderful. I love
obnoxious.
technology today. It's been our
Yay!
friend.
Oh God, the technology has been bonkers for us today.
We'll pop that in the comment. I'm
I'm
definitely
gonna
gonna
look
take a
up
look
it.
at
I'm gonna try
that.
to get this article in
Yeah.
a different article
Yeah.
because I'm
In the meantime, why
yes,
don't we have some people? I would love to hear what you guys think, and if you
yes.
want to raise your hand and come on up
Be on the
and be on the live
podcast.
and be
Yes.
on the podcast,
Raise your hand if
raise
you have
your
any
hand.
questions about networking. If you just want to come up and shoot the shit with us, that is totally acceptable as well. And I believe so. There, okay, found the article. A landmark New York bill would restrict social media for children. New York State is weighing
Ah,
landmark legislation that would prevent tech platforms like Instagram and TikTok from using algorithms for social media feeds viewed by children. The measure would require social media companies to present posts to children in the order they're issued by followed accounts. See, this is my problem though. And I'm actually we should have a dark mode about this. Or even I should just talk about this on Into the Black. But the problem is not what kids are viewing. It's the problem with their parents and the parents putting their kids on social media without their consent for clicks, for views, for monetary purposes, for monetization, and they're exploiting their children. There is no laws at all surrounding the exploitation of children through social media. So I mean, I'm hopefully working on a bill right now with a representative here in my state to actually possibly get that put through because all of these
shut
social
up.
media things aren't going to fix anything as long as the parents still have the ability to post their kids online. So, I know
It
I just
makes
went
them
off on a
insane.
tangent, but
I mean, gosh, when
I
I
read
grew up,
these
I was
news bills and I'm like, they're not going to do jack shit. They don't do
that's
jack
wild.
shit. They it's
Yeah,
annoying. Sorry. Going off my
it's
soapbox now.
okay.
News
I don't have
notifications
yeah.
done. My bad. So yeah, if you guys want to come up, talk about networking, marketing, any questions that we can answer for you, tips, tricks, rhymes, riddles, limericks.
Rhymes and riddles. Or if you have a question about marketing in general, we
Yes.
can certainly answer that as well.
Yeah. And if
So
not,
raise your hand, come on up, and if you have something to share or a personal story that
yes.
makes you laugh or otherwise, we want to hear that too.
And if not, shit, we can probably just hang out for a few more minutes and then Jane and I mean, we are, oh my God, slammed. Anything awesome happening? Like, I know, well, the social media day got moved to October here in
Yes.
Delaware,
Yeah.
which is cool because I was not going to be here in June. So at least maybe I can get a table. I go, oh, okay, yay, hi.
Yeah, come to next to us. Or
Yes.
stand. I don't know if we can say that. But
Hi.
it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm really excited about it. Oh,
Hello.
hi. Yeah.
How are you?
Hi, y'all. Buenos dias. Buenos dias. Oh, my
Yeah.
Please
goodness.
introduce yourself, my dear.
Oh, I shall. I shall. I am adding my Vidano. I had to come up here. Number one, y'all, I am barely even have one eye rolling out of bed. And yeah, it's 9:37 in the morning. Keep your judgment to yourself. Or
Heck
go
yeah.
ahead and give it to me. It's quite all right. I just got off a plane. I did like massive networking on steroids. I live in Dallas, Texas. I was in LA, Hollywood, Beverly Hills. Again, networking on steroids for a specific event. But I love when you guys were like, listen, if y'all just want to come up and shoot the shit, come. I have not heard that thing. It's so damn long. Y'all had me cracking up over here. Usually I'm the one that brings the dang energy into a room. I was like, who are these? I mean, we have been connected for a minute, because literally I've only been on LinkedIn for a minute. And I was like, I have not been in a room with y'all, and your energy, oh my goodness, you guys, I love it. I love it. I love it. So thank you for bringing that. But I would love to share a really quick story with you guys that I think will make you laugh.
Yes, would love to hear it, my dear.
And I actually shared this while I was out there in these and this event. And so we were talking about how it matters how you show up in the world, right? And so I have this amazing story that now I'm a part of, which was 2 years ago. I was walking around the streets of Laguna, but before I was walking around, I was in my car and I was doing a really quick live on Instagram, talking about how it matters, how you show up in the world wherever you at. It doesn't matter. Even me in my car right now, giving you all that I possibly can. Okay, while I'm giving this little Instagram, live shout out, I see someone standing next to me, jeans, black jeans, and like a little chain on the side. No big deal. I'm in Laguna. Everyone's artsy. But just kept that in my, side peripheral. I'm done with my IG. They take off in the car. I walk out of the car. I'm now walking down the street. Um, Black car pulls up next to me, rolls down the window, and says, I just have to know your name. You are one of the most beautiful women I have ever seen. Okay.
Oh no, you fell for it.
Girl, I'm like 8 billion people in the world. I am clearly not the most beautiful woman you've ever seen. But I'll
To them
play.
though, that you are. I'm just
You
saying.
are. They aren't lying either. They really aren't.
Well, here's what I said. I literally said what I just said to y'all, to this person. And then I said, however, what I do feel that you're feeling from me is my most amazing, beautiful energy. And that is given to me by God. And so, hey, I'll take that I've got the best, beautiful energy given by Jesus. Hi, I'm Ari. He says, hi, I'm Bono. I'm sorry.
Bono.
Bono.
That was exactly my reply that you just said. I said the most intelligent thing in the world. Bono. Yes, ma'am. It was. And he said,
No
So
way.
you went on a date? I mean, tell me what happened.
no. So I said, wow. I said, isn't this the most inopportune moment to be meeting you with a line full of cars behind you? Because if you've ever been to Laguna, these back streets, there's literally only one lane in and out.
He's holding it up.
Yes. And
You're holding it
yell,
up.
like, hold up. I'm talking to Bono. Like, I can't yell that out. So I just said, what can I do for you now that you've stopped everyone on the street? He says, I just want you to know that I've been following you since you were in the parking lot. Okay, I said, that's not creepy at all, Bono. He says, I don't know what you were talking about in there, but I was so drawn to you. And I said, well, I was actually talking about how it's really important how you show up in the world. And you just proved my point. Thank you so very much. What are you doing here? We're just chatting, y'all. Car start honking. I said, listen, I gotta let you go because I'm about to get stoned. But it was so lovely meeting you. Have a fabulous day. And I walked away going, what the heck just happened?
Didn't even give me your card. I've been like, call me Bono.
Seriously. Oh my god.
Jane, that and Heather, that was the day I said, I will never not be prepared again. What was wrong with me? Because I'll tell you, this happens to me.
Starstruck.
But well, I was raised by two evangelical preachers that traveled all over the world, and they had a lot of kind of starstrucky people around them. In that this was Spanish speaking in our little bubble, but I don't think I ever was. But I really did not think about it. Said there is so my whole point getting up here is saying networking can happen anywhere, even on the streets of Laguna.
Hell
Be
yeah.
Love
freaking
that.
prepared.
Yes. Always be
Wild.
prepared.
My,
Love that story. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
my coach is
Well-
actually in Greece right now and told me she ran into Jared Leto and she's also Latina. Hello, Sally. Yeah. So
And Bono, if you're listening by chance, Ari Medrano would love to connect with you again.
Yes.
For
I need a
business
picture.
purposes,
For business
only.
purposes
I need
only.
a picture to go with the story. Yes, yes, and yes. So
What a
anytime I get,
fabulous story.
Did you
I
did you get a
would.
selfie with him at least?
No, I didn't do any of those things.
Damn.
Nothing,
Oh,
nothing.
I was
But
about
it's
to say, if
okay.
you got a picture, drop it in the comments because that would be awesome. But
I know.
gotta,
Man, I
yes,
feel
lesson
buzzing.
learned of being prepared. Yes.
Be prepared,
100.
people.
So that is my share for the day. Thank you so very much.
Beautiful.
Yes,
Maybe
thank
on the live
you.
podcast, we'll let you know when it's up.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, indeed.
absolutely. Oh my goodness. Yeah, just show up wherever you're at, and the world will adjust. At that moment, the world gave me Bono.
Beautiful. And that's
The
social
world gave us
synergy.
Bono. Did an iPhone and the what was it, the iPod give us Bono? All of us Bono.
That's the downfall of YouTube, by the way.
Remember?
The entire world was so freaking mad.
The whole
So mad.
world.
Who
Why
remembers
is
that?
U2 on my iPod right now? What is happening?
I mean, dude, there's
And the
a
picture,
Bloody
though, the
Sunday comes
picture that
on.
they gave us.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember?
Shit,
Did
yeah.
you get the picture with it? I was like, oh, okay. Okay, risque. Okay.
Oh
My
my
son was like, Mom, what do you have on? I was like, it's Bono.
That's
That's cool,
amazing.
man. That's a story to tell people for the rest of your life. Thank
That's
you so
right.
much for sharing that.
You're
Thank
welcome, ladies.
you. Yes. Well,
Anyone else want to pop on up, be on
yeah.
the live
Evan,
podcast, share a
Flora, Mike,
story?
thanks for hanging
Yeah,
out. We appreciate
yeah.
it so much. I mean, anything else going on? I mean, I'm cool with ending early, girlfriend.
Yeah, I
If
think we should end early. I
yeah.
mean, I really packed in a lot of information in a
Yes.
short time, so I'm gonna drop some of my notes, guys, in the channel, so we'll let you know and you can reference it. And hopefully, this has helped you. And yeah, this episode will drop next Thursday at 10 a.m. Heather, I believe.
Yes, ma'am. Next Thursday, 10 a.m. And then next Thursday at 11 a.m., we will be here recording. I'm not sure what is next on our
What is the
agenda.
topic? Let me just do a
13th.
quick
Oh,
little.
personal versus business branding.
Yes,
That
and
one's going to be
I made it,
really
guys.
good.
Really good,
Yes.
really, really good.
All right, so
hope
that's
you guys
on
can
June
join us.
13th,
And
next
yep.
Thursday at 11 a.m. EST. Catch this replay on Spotify at 10 a.m. EST on Thursday. We're on this one talking about networking. And thank you so much for everybody for being here. And we will catch you next week. Dark mode disabled. Thanks, guys.